The title of this recording is Spiritual Frequency, and this is Section B. Section B, Spiritual Frequency, Section B. In this section, we're going to look a little bit closer, actually quite a bit closer, at the actual core essence of religion and spirituality. What is at the core of it? Because even though we think we understand what's at the core of it, we really have been conditioned away from the core of it. The religions do that. The doctrines and building organizations, building whole institutions on religions do that. They take you away from the core and bring you into the world of, here's the doctrine. Here's what this means. Even though the words say this is actually what it really means. No. So let's understand this thing from the actual core essence of, here's at the very core of why this is on the planet to begin with. And by the way, it's on the planet because this is Earth, couched in this solar system, couched in this little tiny part of the galaxy, couched in the rest of this galaxy, couched in the rest of this universe, and interacting with the 100 billion other galaxies, because this is one giant system tied to Creator, and this system is known as creation or the cosmos, depending on how you like to see it. But that is, rather, we're going to see it from this way because we want to look at the core of it. And another thing to understand while we're looking at it from this lens right here is that we're looking at this from the living universe's position. Okay, we're seeing this from the position of the living universe, the cosmos itself, the conscious cosmos itself. The reason I say that is because a lot of this has to do with what and how humans are designed in the first place. And that is to create paradigms in their wake. I mean, that's the whole purpose of why we were hijacked so long ago, because it is a human trait that we're going to create paradigms in our wake. It's unavoidable. It's just going to happen whether anybody likes it or not, whether we want to stop it or not, whether we say, no, this isn't true. No, this is human trait. This is human trait 101. Let's call it human trait 101. This is unavoidable. Humans create paradigms in their wake. Now, what does this have to do with planet Earth? Well, if you happen to be living as a human on planet Earth, just like everyone listening to the sound of my voice right now, you are either creating paradigms or are part of some paradigm as things stand right now. So, if you are the conscious universe, let's go out far on a limb here and look at this real quick before we really plunge into the core, because it's very important to looking at the core. If you are the conscious universe, you're going to understand really, really well. Hey, because these humans create paradigms in their wake, this is going to affect all the society, all the tribes, all the vibrational frequency of how these societies get along, how they interact. It's going to affect everything in the human aspect of life on this planet. So, we're going to use the term we for this explanation. We are going to make sure that these people have an understanding. That's called teaching, that's called educating, that's called making sure they truly get it, making sure they truly understand it, At its core essence, because of this paradigm reality, because of the reality that human trait, actual human trait, designed into human, will create paradigm in their wake. There's no choice in this. This is just the simple reality. So, whatever goes into the processes, in other words, what goes into the processes of the four component of the human, and the big one is the mind component, that has everything to do with your consciousness. And we're saying that because we're talking about the brain in this case, like things that you walk around knowing. If the humans are filled with a bunch of rubbish lies, rubbish nonsense, rubbish misunderstandings, rubbish misgivings, rubbish ideologies bouncing around in their heads, then the paradigms that are going to be created are going to be designed through all of that rubbish bouncing around in their heads. This is unavoidable. This is like physics. This is like me taking a slingshot and using a rubber band slingshot and pulling on the rubber bands. Now, when I let go of whatever's I have in the sling, let's say it's a marble, well, it's simple physics. You let go, the tension relaxes, and boom, the marble flies across the yard. This is the same thing. Nothing different here. This is just physics, but it's physics of the four components. And the creative force understands this all too well. I mean, it is behind the design. So this is a very real thing here we are dealing with here. And not only is it a very real thing that we're dealing with here, but that's how and why. That's the essence of how and why. All of these spiritual and religious teachings got on this planet in pure raw form before they were jacked up by the conquering types in the first place. That's why they're on the planet, because of this aspect of humans that humans have no say in. This is part of the design of humans. This is what humans are going to do. They're going to create paradigms in their wake. Now, if you are the creative force, in other words, if I'm the conscious universe, and you and all of the other beings that work in unison with you have decided, okay, well, you know what, we have this agenda for the planet, and this planet does have an agenda. I mean, if you look at the history of the planet, and I mean really look at the history of the planet outside of history books, but I mean really seriously start digging up the history of this planet, you'll find a lot of freaky stuff. A lot of freaky stuff. And that freaky stuff had to be curtailed, and it still is being curtailed to this very day, because the actual design for this planet, still to this day, is, hey, this is a planet of the people, that's the humans, by the people, that's the humans, and for the people, that's the humans. And so because of that, the planet is going to be done this way. That's why the teachings, that's why the ideas, understandings, knowledge, and all of that stuff is on this planet to begin with. So that the people, that the humans don't run around with a bunch of rubbish bouncing around in their heads like what we have today. It's rubbish. It's the ideologies have placated. They've taken over. They've cancerized the core essence of the raw truth of things. And so that we, the humans, can have a shot, a fair shot. We need to understand this stuff. We need to understand it clearly. So, with that understanding hopefully embedded into your thinking processes, now let's look at the core essence, because this one is very, very important to wrap your mind around. Really important to understand. And it's very important to see it from the arena of these are the four components. And actually, it's important to see it from the arena of, hey, this is what real life is. The four components are only part of what real life is, but this is real life in the cosmos, which translates to real life in this galaxy, which translates down to real life in this quadrant of the galaxy where our solar system is, which translates to real life in this solar system, which translates to real life on planet Earth, which translates down to ecosystem and atmospheric systems and all the other systems on planet Earth, which is actually just one system. Okay? And that system is introduced as something we call righteousness, which is a very, very, very old word that goes way, way back in time and has a lot of translations. But it all means, hey, this is the system that's going. The real system that's going. The core essence system that's going. Okay. That out of the way, let's now shift our thinking to what is this core essence anyways? What's the core essence anyways? And why does it keep getting hijacked? Not too much on why does it keep getting hijacked. I'm going to refer you back to the second main page to discover why it keeps getting hijacked. But what is the core essence? And when we're talking about the core essence, we're talking about the core essence of this planet, Earth, not some other planet, not some other star system, not some other star system in some other galaxy. We're talking about Earth. Earth. Okay, let me make that clear. Earth is one design. One design with many, 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 many aspects and variations as part of that one design. One of those aspects and variations are called humans. We humans are in the form we are in today. Now, to go into that and find out how we got into the form we're in today, that is a completely different idea and teaching altogether. That has to do with origins. And we're not even going to crack that one open because it's not relevant to the vibrational frequencies that we're looking at now. So we will sweep that aside and understand that will come up in some future recording. But this planet is one design, designed as part of another bigger design. But we're not going to worry about the bigger design because the bigger design is the cosmos. It's all one giant design. We're worried about this planet and this planetary design. Now, core essence, let's just say, just for the sake of argument, so we can move on with core essence. Because believe me, I can argue the point until the cows come home. I'm quite good at it, actually. But we don't want to do that. We want to look at it and move on. Make this thing simple. Because if we get this simple thing in our heads, it will be life-altering. Okay? Literally life-altering. For the better. For the more empowered human. For a better society. For a deeper understanding. Okay? So, core essence. The humans are walking around in a state of sleep. It's like a zombified state of sleep. They are in this state of sleep because there is something designed into them that is not activated. They have to activate it. Because of the laws of free will, these are primary laws. Because of the laws of free will, they have to participate and activate it. This thing designed into them. Because of the laws of free will and because of the arrangement, in other words, the ways of the righteousness system, they are not born understanding that they have to activate this aspect within them. They don't know it when they're born. What they're born with instead is an idea, or a question rather, of who am I and what am I doing here? This is all within the laws of free will. To the beings, the earth beings, the human beings born onto this planet. They are also born into the human kingdom, like the animal kingdom, the human kingdom. And in the human kingdom there is an infection, a virus, something that is messing with the oneness program. It has been here and it will continue to be here until it is decided it is no longer needed. But it is here, and it has always been here. It is like a power grab paradigm, to placate the power, to absorb the power of the humans. That's what the virus is. That's what the illness is. And what it does is it separates the oneness into something less than oneness, keeping the people in an ignorant state of perpetual sleep. And the humans will remain in this state of sleep until they themselves decide to activate this thing designed into them. Once they activate the thing designed into them, then bam, it happens that quick. They begin to wake up and they begin to understand things differently, because different things are different energies, different ideas, different things begin to flow through them. It's like turning a knob or turning a gas line or something. It begins a new flow. Activating that begins a new flow. And the flow comes from outside the human kingdom. It comes from the universe itself. But the humans don't know. They do not know and do not understand that this is what they are born into. They do not see it. They are asleep to this. There is a call inside of them to please wake up. There is a call. But that call is in the form of the questions of who am I and what am I doing here? It is not in the form of, hey, I need to activate this thing inside of me. That's what the teachings are for. That's why the teachings are on the planet. And because of the illness, the virus, and because of the play for power within the beings behind the illness and the virus, then the propensity is to try and keep the humans dormant. A dormant human is a thing to feed off of. Now we're getting into some deep stuff and I don't want to go into here because this is not part of it. But I'm just making this clear because we're talking about the core essence. But that is what the power play is about. And the balance of the power play is keep the humans in the dormant, sleeping state. As opposed to, okay, the human has decided it wants to wake up and come into the oneness system. where things flow through it from outside the human kingdom and influence the human kingdom through their activated state. So, the core essence is to get the humans to understand, hey humans, this is how you activate yourself. You want to know what you're doing on this planet? You want to know why you're here and what this is all about? Here, the draw in you. You want to find out what the draw in you is all about? Here, activate yourself. That's what the core teachings are about. Nothing shy of that. That, in a very small, little, quick synopsis, nutshell, is what it is all about. That's what all of the teachings of light are all about. You can have religious wars if you want to until the cows come home, although they come home, but the religious wars still go on. You can have religious wars and say, no, we're the best, no, we're the best, no, we're the best, no, we're the best. But the truth is, what just got laid out for you, and you should actually listen to that segment of the recording over and over and over and over and over many times until this really sinks in. That is the core essence of what it is all about on this planet. And we are going to go into the next segment. We're going to talk about altering the frequencies once you've been activated. We're going to talk about that because that is a very useful thing for all the people that have woken up, and that is a lot in today's time. But a lot more are still dormant. That's why they're asleep.